Hello, beginner Dragon. This is Mr. Van, and today is going to be the beginning of the third week for this month, and that means we are going to be reviewing what we learned from our first week and our second week, and we're going to put that into one cohesive unit so that basically the first week we learned one half of a form, the second week we learned the second half of the form, and now we're going to put that together so that it is one cohesive form. You could also be thinking about it as in the first month we learned this thing, which is what we learned in the first week of this month, and then the second month we talked about what we learned in the second week of this month, and now basically in the first month and the second month we learned one half of the form, and then we learned the other half of the form, and now we're combining it to make it into this month's form. So with that being said, that's what we're doing this week, and now we are going to be doing our physical and mental goal. So our physical goal is accuracy. Like I said last week, we are going to be talking about techniques and what techniques we are using and sort of how to do them right. Because in the first couple videos that we did this month, we talked about how accuracy works in a lot of different aspects. So like accuracy in school, doing it right. What's 2 + 2? 4. How do I read? I read the words and I speak them out loud to my classmates. In history, I have to memorize when the Constitution was wrote, or when the Declaration of Independence was written, or something like that. And that would be something that I would have to get right in history class, stuff like that. But in karate, it's sort of different. There's a lot of different stuff that we talk about in karate when it comes to doing it right. So when we do it right, we want to think about a couple different things. Number one, what are we doing? So last week we talked about a punch. How do I do a punch? Sort of stuff like that. The second thing is, where am I hitting? So on my person's body, so let's pretend that this wall is a person, where am I hitting? Am I hitting the face? Am I hitting the stomach? Am I hitting the chest? The hip, sorry. Am I hitting the face? Am I hitting the chest? Am I hitting the stomach? Am I hitting the hip? All that sort of stuff. You want to think about that when you're hitting something. So last week we talked about how punches are mainly towards the solar plexus sort of area, but this week we're going to talk about front kicks. But anyways, that's a little off topic now. Now we are going on. The third thing that we also have to think about is what we're hitting with when we come to like our technique. So last week we talked about our punches. I'm going to use this example again. And let's say we narrow down where we're hitting on our target. So this is my target. I'm hitting the chest. What am I hitting with on my hand? So am I hitting with my fingers? Am I hitting with my palm? Am I hitting with my knuckles? All that sort of stuff. And in this situation, we would be using these two knuckles, the index and the the middle finger is the knuckles that I want to use. So these two knuckles, my index, aka my pointer finger, that knuckle, and my middle finger, aka the middle finger, that's the knuckle that I want to use when I'm doing a punch. Now we're going to sort of use that concept of where we're hitting and why we're hitting and what we're hitting with and where we're hitting. We're going to use that sort of thinking when it comes to front kicks now. So front kicks, we're first going to talk about how to do a front kick. So front kicks, basically what you do is you pick up your foot. So let's say that I'm kicking with my left foot right now. I'm going to pick up my left foot straight up, just like this, and my right foot is going to point towards a corner. So let's say I'm in the middle of a square right now, and my right foot is pointing towards the top right. So that is where my toes are going to be pointed. And if it was the other foot, it would be the other way. So I'm picking up my right foot now, and my left foot is going to point to the top left corner. I almost said right, that's my fault. But you get the idea. After that, let's say that we got our foot up. Now we are going to kick out. So we're going to kick out, which leads to our second detail. Our second detail is what we're hitting with. And I'm going to come a little closer to the camera so that you guys can see what we're hitting with. We are going to be hitting with the ball of our foot, which is right underneath our big toe. And what I usually do when I'm practicing my front kicks is I think about it as I'm basically on my tippy toes. So if I'm on my tippy toes, the balls of my feet are touching the ground, and only the balls of my feet. Sure, my toes are touching, but in a front kick, I don't want my toes to be touching. So basically, only the balls of my feet are touching the floor when I'm doing a front kick. And that would be the case. So when I do that extension of my kick, so I pick up my foot, that's the first part. The second part, when I extend my kick, I'm basically going onto my tippy toes, but on the other person. So I tippy toe on them, and then I bring it back and bring it back down. So up, out, back, down. And that's how you do a front kick. Making sure that we have our target and where we're hitting with our own body. So like I said, we're using the ball of our foot. So when I do that extension, I want to think about how I'm kicking with the ball of my foot and only the ball of my foot. Now we are going to be talking about where we're hitting on our target. So there's a lot of different places that you can be hitting. And what I would do if I were you guys was I would be hitting around this area. So your stomach or your hips. So that would be because you want to push them as far back as you can. So if I'm doing my front kick, then I'm hitting the stomach, they would probably lean back like this, kind of go off balance and try and keep their balance, and they would back up a little bit, which would allow me to run away to my mom or my dad that would be helping me. Same thing with the hips. If you hit the hips, they're going to back up a little bit and they're going to lose their balance, and you can run away to your grown-ups so that you can find help. So that would be what I would aim for. Now, here are some reasons why you don't kick a little lower or you don't kick a little higher. So if you're kicking a little lower, you're not going to have as much power, because when you're kicking lower, you're not really going to be hitting anything substantial. The only things that I can think of that you're going to hit that and you're going to do damage is the knees, which would make them bend down onto their knee or even break their leg. But that would take a lot of timing and a lot of sort of accuracy and making sure that you're hitting the right target. But that I feel like would be hard for some people. So I wouldn't aim for the knee. If you're trying to hit someone in the face, that would take a lot of spacing, because if I'm up close, I can't really get my leg up for that kick up high. And if I'm too far away, I would have to reach my leg out to kick them in the face. Plus, it would take a lot of time, which means in a fight, if I'm fighting them and I pick up my leg, they're probably going to realize that my leg is up, and they're probably going to guard their face so that I can't kick them in the face. So something like the stomach or the chest or the hip area would be the fastest and most effective way to do a front kick. And that's basically doing a front kick with accuracy. You're going to understand how to do a front kick, basically up, out, back, down. And then we are going to be talking about where we're hitting, so something like the stomach or the hips, and what we're hitting with, which is the ball of our foot. Now, that is basically the accuracy of a front kick. Now, we are going to be talking about our mental goal, which is responsibility. Now, the last couple of weeks, we talked about our responsibility and a multitude of things. So, responsibility, first, we have to know what it is. Basically, responsibility is understanding the consequences that come with doing something and doing something that we have to do. So if I have to do my chores, I have to understand if I do my chores, that's something good. Then if I don't do my chores, then I'm probably going to get yelled at, and I'm probably going to get like my toys taken away or my tablet taken away or whatever. Now we're also going to talk about, for this week, we're going to be talking about how responsibility is sort of earned. So there are some things that you have to be responsible for and are also good. But if you don't do this stuff that is not so fun, you won't be able to earn the responsibility for the fun stuff. Something like a dog. Some people have dogs and they have to take care of them. If you guys can't even take care of a houseplant, how are you going to take responsibility for feeding a dog making your dog drink water, walking your dog, stuff like that. How are you going to have the responsibility for feeding and taking care of a dog when you can't even take care of a plant that only needs to be watered? Stuff like that. You have to be able to earn the responsibility for fun stuff by doing the stuff that is boring. So that was just one example. Another example would be like going to Disneyland. If I want the responsibility of going to Disneyland, I would have to be able to understand what responsibilities that comes with. So making sure that I don't get lost, making sure that my family doesn't get lost, making sure that I don't lose anything, stuff like that. If I can't even put away my toys, how am I going to be responsible enough to make sure that my family and all the stuff that we bring to Disneyland doesn't get lost? That sort of is the mindset of responsibility. Now, today it looks pretty nice out. I am recording this on a Sunday, so I don't really know what the weather is going to be later on in the week whenever this is posted, but I'm gonna go outside and I'm probably gonna be running a couple laps. Maybe I'll even mow my lawn, sort of get my sweat going as well with that, because I'm gonna have to push that lawnmower around for a little bit. But that's probably gonna be my warm up, sort of being responsible and running around and doing all that sort of fun stuff. But you guys can have another warm up if you guys want. Today, I want you guys to work on your legs. So maybe do some bunny hops. So bunny hops would be basically jumping and making sure that we don't stop when we're on the ground. So we hop repeatedly, and when our feet touch the ground, we hop back up straight up. So hop, 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 stuff like that. And not something like hop, take a little break, hop, take a little break. Basically, when my toes touch the ground, I want to jump straight back up. So hop, 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 hop. So I would do maybe 30 of those, then maybe 30 jumping jacks so that we have our cardio as well. And then I would go back to hopping for maybe 20, and then 20 jumping jacks, then 10, and that would be your warm up. So 30 bunny hops, 30 jumping jacks, 20 bunny hops, 20 jumping jacks, 10 bunny hops, and then 10 jumping jacks. And that, I think, should be your warm-up for today. And again, you guys don't have to do the warm-up that I tell you guys to. You guys, if you want to, can go outside and play a game of like frisbee ultimate frisbee, or play catch with like a football or something to get your blood pumping and starting to make you sweat so that you guys are ready for your form. And with that being said, I will see you guys after I do my warm-up. Our beginner dragons, now we're back, and we are going to be doing our form now. So for our form, I'm gonna try and do it from a side angle. So I'm gonna tell you which foot is going to be in the front, and basically you guys can follow along from there. But first things first, we would put our feet together, say drawing form 2. We're gonna bow, say courtesy, and now I am going to do that side angle that we were talking about. So first things first, your left foot would be in the front. We would do a touchdown. So putting our hand down, making sure that we have a low block in our guard stance. So touchdown, we're gonna twist and punch. So punching vertically in a forward belt. We go into cat stance now. So cat stance is basically a stance that most of our weight is onto our back foot so that we can pick up our foot for a kick very easily. So we would get into a cat stance, we do a front kick, then we're gonna twist and punch again, and then we're gonna use our back foot and do a roundhouse kick. Stepping forward. Now I'm going to switch my stance so that you guys can see my front instead of my butt, but it's going to be your right leg is going to be in the front now. So my right foot is in the front. I'm going to make an X, back fist. So I'm going to do 2 back fists, one towards the front, one towards the back. Then same thing, make an X hammer fist this time, which is 2 low blocks. So one in the front, one in the back. We're gonna slide up, so bring our feet together, making sure that my foot that just slid, all those toes are going to be pointed towards the wall that it came from. So this foot is going to now point towards that wall because it just slid together. Now I'm going to take my front foot, which is my right foot, and I'm going to side kick. After that, we're going to do a back fist, palm strike, and a pump jump front kick. Now, I don't expect you guys to learn all of this in one go. I don't expect you guys to be perfect in one go. What I want you guys to do is I want you to practice this into small little sections. So maybe just practice low block, twist and punch, front kick. Sorry, low block, twist and punch, cat stance, front kick, turn the foot, pizza kick. For today, just practice that 1, 2, 3, 5 times maybe. However many times you feel like you can do it without my help. And then after you guys do that, you guys can practice make a nice back fist, make a nice hammer fist, slide up, side kick, back fist, palm strike, pump jump, front kick, all by yourself for the next day. And then you can try and combine the two all together. So then you'd be able to get into your muscle memory, which is basically being able to do it without even thinking about it. And once you guys can do that, that is pretty good. And then you can think about adding some details to your technique. So something like when I do a front kick, making sure that my toes are pointed towards a 45, or when I do a punch, if I'm not in a front stance, I should be in a vertical punch sort of situation. And with that being said, just be able to practice this over and over and over and over again until you feel like you can do it without even thinking about it. So you can just do it in your sleep, basically. You should be able to do this so many times and practice this so many times that it's not even a matter of how many times I can do it or when can I do it. It should be more so, it shouldn't be a question of how do I do this or what am I doing or what's the next move. It should not be a question of that. It should be more so, when can I stop doing this because this is so easy. That should be your thinking. That should be how many times you do it. Once you guys stop thinking about, once you guys stop thinking about what's the next move, that's probably when you guys have this down and easy and feel like you guys can add some details. And with that being said, just practice that over and over for these next couple days so that you guys have it down to your muscle memory. And then I will, next week, someone else will be doing these videos and you guys will be doing a stripe test for them. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys on Thursday's video. Bye.